There was a clear size and strength gap throughout the series. And on top of that, Damian Lillard's Achilles injury was a huge blow. Down 1-3 in the series, Milwaukee was in a really tough spot. They headed into Game 5 on the road, which could have been their last of the season. Sadly, Lillard's return next season is also up in the air. Indiana needed to finish the series tonight, no excuses. Milwaukee started the game in a seriously tough position. But surprisingly, Milwaukee came out swinging from the start. AJ Green hit a 3 off a Giannis double team. Then Giannis nailed a rare three-pointer of his own to take the lead. Benching's Brook Lopez turned out to be a smart move. They made the lineup switch a bit late, but still, Milwaukee's start exceeded expectations. Even their small ball lineup looked solid on defense. And as always, Giannis was a problem they couldn't solve. Then Gary Trent Jr. started racking up steals like crazy, giving Milwaukee a near-perfect first quarter. Even Brook Lopez and Kyle Kuzma, who were coming off the bench, held it down when Giannis was off the floor. Just like that, Milwaukee completely owned the first quarter. But even after building a 20-point lead, Milwaukee's turnovers started piling up, and they lost momentum. Taurean Prince came off the bench, but only disrupted their flow. Then Tyrese Haliburton, who'd been invisible so far.
63% the first quarter. They're just 4 of 12.
In the air.
Neesmith for 3. And a Bucks timeout.
Made a highlight-worthy kickout pass to set up a big 3, and the home team started slowly chipping away at the lead. These days, a 20-point lead can disappear in a blink. Indiana finally started playing their signature up-tempo game.
To play in the second quarter.
The Pacers have found their offensive rhythm. That's 2 layups by Tyrese.
At last, Haliburton started playing like the star he is. Only downside was Siakam still wasn't quite himself, and Milwaukee couldn't recapture their first quarter magic. The first half ended with the gap between the teams nearly gone. It was a pretty meaningful comeback for Indiana. Milwaukee, desperate for a win, brought back their first quarter lineup. They tried hard to protect whatever lead they had left, but then Haliburton knocked down his first 3 of the night, and Andrew Nembhard hit another clutch 3 to keep the pressure on. At this point, the game was basically even. Maybe the pressure got to him, but even Giannis missed both free throws and gave the crowd something to cheer about.
Clock at 4.
He's the guy one with the ball.
Here's a deep 3. Nembhard! And the Pacers have their first lead!
That's why.
Nembhard finally drilled a 3 to give Indiana the lead. The home team came all the way back from being down 20+. Then Giannis, who had been pretty quiet since the first quarter, hit a tough turnaround fadeaway to retake the lead. Pascal Siakam was seriously struggling tonight. That gave Milwaukee's role players room to shine from deep. They avoided what could have been a full momentum shift. While Kevin Porter Jr. was hyping up the squad, Giannis started to really get going on the offensive end. What stood out most was how well he was shooting free throws. He nailed 4 in a row midway through the quarter, showing he was tuning out the crowd's loud counting. But picking up his 4th foul was a big problem looming. Once Giannis hit the bench, Kyle Kuzma had a bit of a meltdown. Milwaukee couldn't hold on to their slim lead anymore. Their entire season now came down to the final quarter. Indiana had a strong finish to the quarter, getting scoring from everyone. TJ McConnell in particular was contributing way more than expected. With the season on the line, Milwaukee leaned on Trent Jr.'s 3 and Giannis's all-out effort just to stay afloat. The score was still close, with neither team pulling away, but then McConnell turned into a game-changer in the final quarter, showing more impact than even Haliburton tonight.
And McConnell
They're starting to get tired.
leaves it off. Turner!
Yeah!
Miles Turner! Timeout!
One of his fast breaks set up a monster dunk by Miles Turner. And Indiana's up-tempo push gave them a 2-possession lead. That's when Milwaukee hit their biggest danger zone. Of course, all eyes turned to Giannis to save them. Even with Turner all over him, Giannis broke the run with a big bucket. His gritty play was the only thing keeping Milwaukee alive. He even banged his hand on the rim during a block attempt, but stayed in because the stakes were just too high. His hustle seemed to fire up his teammates too. Trent Jr., who had the hot hand, hit a clutch go-ahead 3. Indiana failed to answer on the other end. And then AJ Green drained another big-time 3. It was a shocking turn of events for Indiana, who had led earlier, but there was still plenty of time left for both sides. Haliburton responded quickly with a no-waste layup.
Giannis
Giannis came right back with a super clutch layup of his own. It felt like a message. Milwaukee's season isn't over yet. Still, Haliburton hit his free throws to keep Indy's hopes alive. Milwaukee only needed one more bucket to lock it in. But Kevin Porter Jr.'s mid-range shot came up short.
Haliburton out front, guarded by Porter. Haliburton's
take
going to
the
go
line shot.
inside.
He got a layup.
And he dunks it!
He got a layup.
Then Haliburton, on a tear, threw down a driving dunk to tie it up. He truly held this team together when it mattered most. Now it's all up to Milwaukee with one final possession left.
Neesmith on Green.
They double in. Giannis misses. We're going overtime.
Giannis didn't trust his teammates and took a jumper over the double team, but missed it, sending the game into overtime. Milwaukee really let this one slip through their fingers. Haliburton opened OT with a clutch three to give Indiana the lead, but then he missed an easy layup that could have widened the gap. He killed the momentum that could have buried Milwaukee. Trent Jr., who had been hot all night, tied it with a three, then hit another back-to-back triple to flip the score. Meanwhile, Haliburton seemed shaken by that missed layup and kept chucking up bad threes that hurt his team.
Pacers have already taken 8 shots here in overtime. They're 1 for 8. Gary Trent Jr. just gonna will the pucks back to Milwaukee.
Trent Jr. took over OT with a third straight three-pointer. He was straight up dominating the floor. Indiana players tried to respond even in the panic, but the night's hero, Trent Jr., hit yet another deep three. Giannis, inspired by his teammates, added a strong driving layup. With the lead and time on their side, it looked like Milwaukee had it. They were up 7 with just 40 seconds left. Andrew Nembhard hit a three to keep Indiana alive, but Milwaukee still held the clear upper hand. Then Trent Jr., the hero so far, made a huge turnover, and Haliburton turned it into a clutch and won. Suddenly, Indiana got the boost they needed from deep. Milwaukee called a desperate final timeout.
Into Green. And out of bounds! Trent lost it!
He lost it.
Unbelievably, Trent Jr. made another mistake right after. In seconds, he went from hero to heartbreak. Now Indiana, once on the ropes, had one last shot.
Seconds. Haliburton against Giannis. Haliburton,
Got
3
it,
seconds.
got it,
Puts it in!
got it.
He put it in! 1 and 3 times!
Victory for these guys. What a heck of a victory. Struggle.
Haliburton blew by Giannis for a super clutch layup. And Indiana pulled off a miracle series win. They flipped a 7-point deficit in just 40 seconds. Unreal. Even I've never seen a series end like this before. Indiana wrapped it up 4-1 in dominant fashion, and now they'll face Cleveland, who just crushed Miami. Meanwhile, Milwaukee's season ends right here. Giannis left it all on the court with an incredible stat line, but their season ended in one of the wildest collapses ever. Now, all eyes are on what Giannis will do next. He's still under contract, but that's not stopping speculation. For a while now, he's hinted that this season's outcome could influence whether he stays or asks out. With Lillard out long-term and the season ending like this first-round loss is just another gut punch, and Giannis isn't getting any younger either. A trade request wouldn't shock anyone at this point. Was tonight Giannis's last dance in a Bucks jersey? This offseason's about to be full of questions and headlines.